Hello and welcome to this video by Perfect Scores. And this is Preetinder Kaur and this is another video on English grammar and the fundamentals. And so far we have covered in detail about nouns, the case, the number and the gender. And we're going to focus in this video on another part of speech, which is the adjective. Now, if you remember the definitions of adjectives from your school, you might remember that adjectives are describing words. But let's have a look at these four sentences and try to find the adjectives in these sentences. So the first question, I don't like that book. So if someone asks you which book you don't like, you're going to answer, I don't like that book. So that is describing the book. So that is the adjective. The second sentence, Ron is a tall man. So you're asking, what kind of a man is Ron? And your answer is, he's a tall man. So tall is describing man. So tall is the adjective. And let me just put arrows over here to make it more easy to understand. All right, the next sentence. Where is my red scarf? So if you want to ask, what scarf are you finding? The answer is going to be, I'm talking about my red scarf. So red is describing scarf. So red is an adjective. Another one. I have 3 pennies. If someone asks you, how many pennies do you have? Your answer will be, I have 3 pennies. So 3 is an adjective that describes pennies. So as you can see these words, that, tall, red, even the number 3, all of these are adjectives because they describe either nouns or pronouns. So you can also say Ron is a tall man. You can also say he is a tall man. But in any case, you will be describing either a noun or a pronoun, and those descriptive words are known as adjectives. Now let's have a look at what are the different kinds of adjectives that are used in English grammar. So these are the 3 main kinds of adjectives that you may encounter. Adjectives of quality, also known as descriptive adjectives, adjectives of quantity, and then adjectives of number or numeral adjectives. So let's study them one by one. Adjectives of quality, as the name suggests, show the quality or the kind of a person or a thing. For example, a large palace, a kind soul, a tricky question, an old tree, an extreme case. So the adjectives are all on the left side. Large is the adjective that describes a noun, which is a thing, a palace. Kind is the adjective that describes this noun's soul. Tricky is the adjective that describes the noun question. Old is the adjective that describes the kind of tree. Extreme is the adjective that describes the noun, which is a case. So all of these words, large, kind, tricky, old, extreme, they describe the quality or the kind of a person or a thing or a noun or a pronoun. So these are known as adjectives of quality. Let's move on to adjectives of quantity. These show how much of a thing are you trying to mention. For example, I don't know anyone. I need to get some things. I have a lot of work. I read many books. So any describes one, which is a pronoun. In this case, some describes the noun things. A lot of describes the noun work. Many describes books. So all of these words, any, some, a lot of, many, they're all telling you how much of a thing or things are you talking about. So these are known as adjectives of quantity. Let me write down a few more examples of this. Okay, let's have a look at these examples. This makes no sense. So how much sense does it make? No sense. You need great care or you need sufficient care. How much care? Great or sufficient. Again, how much work? Complete work. So it tells you or it answers the question, how much? So that is what adjectives of quantity depict. How much of something. The next kind of adjective is adjectives of number, also known as numeral adjectives. Numeral adjectives answer the question, how many? Alright, so they answer the question, how many? For example, I know 10 people. I know a few people. Alright, or I know 20 people. So all of these are answering the question, how many people? So as you can see, the only difference between adjectives of quantity and adjectives of number is that number will be used whenever you have countable things. When you can count them and you can give them a number. Adjectives of quantity are used when you cannot count them. So uncountable things, for example, rice or work or sense or care. So ideally, if you talk about books, they fall under both categories because they can be counted. Similarly, things, if you can count those things, they fall under both categories. So basically, if you look at it, the division is only in two categories. One is quality and one is the numbers and quantity. So let me summarize it once. Adjectives are usually of two types. One is adjectives of quality and the other one is adjectives of quantity or adjectives of number. I'll give you a few examples to refresh everything. Quality would be words like nice, intelligent, and for quantity, words like much, many, three, first. So that is the basic division of adjectives. Apart from the adjectives on quality and quantity, there are two more little subclasses of adjectives I would like to discuss here. One is known as a demonstrative adjective. So for example, you have a sentence, I like that place. So if you want to find out the adjective is the word that. And that is describing the place. So it's demonstrating which place do you like. So that is a demonstrative adjective. I'll give you a few more examples. Those books. Or these books. Or this book. Or that book. So these are demonstrative adjectives. Or even whose book would be a demonstrative adjective. The other one is known as interrogative adjective. The ones that ask questions. So this example would belong in this category. Whose book? Or which book? What time? When? So these adjectives that are used to ask questions are known as interrogative adjectives. So the basic purpose of this video or this lesson is to identify the adjectives in a sentence. So I'm going to give you a little exercise now, and you can go ahead and pause this video and try to work out the different adjectives in the sentences that I will give you. So here are those sentences. You can pause the video and try to identify the adjectives in them. So let me give you the answers. The first one, the car sustained heavy damage. So you're using heavy to describe damage. So heavy is the adjective here. Say the same thing. Same describes thing. So same is the adjective here. I messaged you several times. Several describes times. So several is the adjective here. The pencil isn't sharp. So the pencil is not what? It is not sharp. So sharp describes what the pencil is not. So sharp is the adjective. That hard drive is corrupted. Which hard drive is what? That hard drive, and the hard drive is corrupted. So both the words that and corrupted are the adjectives. The fresh oranges are here. What kind of oranges? Fresh oranges. So fresh is the adjective. There is some problem. How much problem? Some problem. So some, which is an adjective based on the quantity, is the problem. The yellow box is missing. What box is missing? The yellow box. So yellow, the adjective of quality or descriptive adjective, is the answer here. The yellow brick design is great. So what design? The yellow brick design. And what about it? It's great. So both of these words, yellow brick and great, are the adjectives. So I hope you were able to get all of them correct. And this is the one that we are going to cover in this video, the description of adjectives and how to identify them. So keep watching for the next video, which will be based on how to form these adjectives. So thank you so much for watching this video.